Ever get this feeling like we're swimming in stories like all around us, shaping how we see things?
Oh, totally. It's like unavoidable, right?
Yeah. And today we're diving into that very idea with Ta-Nehisi Coates' The Message. You know Coates, he's known for tackling some really complex issues, race, identity.
Powerful voice.
Exactly. But here, he's digging into the power of stories themselves. Not just his own story, but how narratives, big and small, shape our entire world.
And what's wild is he didn't even start out wanting to write about that.
Really?
For real. Initially, he was all about writing itself, like how we use language. He even looked to Orwell's Politics and the English language for inspiration.
Okay, a book about writing, so what changed?
It's like, in trying to understand how we use language, he bumps into this even bigger question, how much do stories actually shape what we believe?
Mhm.
And not just like fictional stories, but the stories we tell about history, about ourselves, about everything.
I'm already hooked. And to get at this, he takes us on some pretty incredible journeys in this book.
3, to be exact.
Dakar, Senegal, Colombia, South Carolina, and Palestine. Each one's like its own world, right?
Totally. And each one acts as a lens for Coates to examine this whole idea of narratives, how they work, how they clash, how they shape us.
So let's start with Dakar. It's a modern city, bustling, full of life, but Coates uses it to explore something deeper, more personal.
Right. Yeah. He starts talking about a mythical kingdom he'd imagined as a kid.
Yeah, I remember that part.
Like, boom, right away, he's showing us how powerful those personal myths can be. These stories we carry inside ourselves. Some we make up, some get passed down. They end up shaping our view just as much as any real event.
Totally. It's like we're all walking around with these invisible stories influencing our every thought.
100%.
Which makes me think about how those stories sometimes clash, especially when we're faced with different perspectives. And that leads us right into Coates' experience in Columbia, South Carolina. His own book being banned there. I mean, talk about narratives colliding.
Talk about it. That's the crux of it. When a story, especially your own, is seen as such a threat that it gets silenced, it reveals just how deeply entrenched certain narratives are. And Colombia, steeped in its history, becomes a powerful example. It's like, how do we confront the past, especially when those stories are still so alive in the present?
It makes you realize how important it is to question those narratives, even the ones we grew up with. And then there's Palestine. It's like taking this whole idea of stories, shaping reality to another level.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Because in Palestine, the stakes are so much higher. It's not just about personal myths anymore. It's about national narratives, deeply ingrained, often used to justify conflict. And that's where it gets really dangerous.
So it's not just that stories have power, it's that this power can be used to twist the truth, to fuel division, which feels incredibly relevant today with the rise of misinformation and, well, let's just say it, propaganda.
100%. And that's what makes the message so powerful, so timely. Coates isn't just telling us to be aware of these stories. He's urging us to untangle ourselves from the ones that are harmful, to actively seek out different perspectives.
To challenge our own assumptions.